Howdy, howdy. What's up? I actually had recorded a really long video before this, and I think TradingView couldn't handle it. It was like 40 minutes. But anyway, I did some review on Home Depot. It's a company that I like. I do have a position in it in a call, probably a little too exposed, but I like it for the long term. So I'm I'm planning on sticking with it over the long term. Um, I had noticed like that last quarter, these are 3 month charts, so last quarter, um, it had put in a range expansion. These green arrows, red arrows indicate range expansions, which basically means that range was higher than I actually don't know 100% the exact details, but um, it kind of indicates that potentially a trend is beginning, and then that trend will be in the direction that the range expansion happened. So in this case, maybe to the upside, again, assuming this plays out. Obviously, not every time these arrows pop up. Things don't play out every time these arrows pop up. There's a little more finesse to it than that. You gotta look kind of for a longer consolidative period before it. There's other details because that doesn't always have bearing. Sometimes things can just like keep going. Anyway, there's a lot of intricacies. Stock market, there's a lot of intricacies. Um, But yeah, anyway, I noticed there was a range expansion here. I had actually drawn a long term idea from actually, it was like about a year ago that I drew this long term idea. And you could see that it's like fairly kind of playing out now. Um, there was some consolidation. Nice trend here, pulls back, you know, a little disappointing if you're a short term person. But I mean, if you're long term, you're like, oh, cool, a pullback. Maybe I'll buy a little more, um, which then would have obviously played out for you here. The fun, a lot of some, one of the fundamentals behind Home Depot is that with the Fed Reserve lowering rates, it kind of gives the market like, oh, the rates are being lowered, so people might take out loans to do a home renovation. A little cheaper to do a home renovation on loans. And that obviously would drive Home Depot stock. So I just wanted to reanalyze it a little bit. Actually, not too much different from this target. So, you get a little bit higher, but not too much. Should be interesting how it plays out. There's a technical thing in stocks called double tops. And double tops typically, well, the method behind a double top is that a stock will hit the same level and then it'll boom go down. So you could be a little scared that that could happen here with Home Depot, but that's a risk, I guess. There's always risks, but overall, Home Depot is a decent company. I would say they will continue to remain pretty decent in my estimation. And I did go over like a little short term idea here just because there is like a range expansion to the short term and the daily chart. Um, Whether this is actually going to play out or not, I actually am not sure because it seems like there's a low chance, in my opinion, for this to play out. But we'll see. Anything can happen. I also, in that really long video, I also looked at Peloton. I'm a big fan of Peloton. I think they've got a great brand. I think they have great exercise classes. Their product is good, pretty high quality. Their classes are high quality. I guess that's their product. The whole thing, I mean, is pretty decent quality from them, in my experience. And I haven't gone searching for the negative reviews. I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm not. We won't talk about the unfortunate event. There was an unfortunate event with Peloton's product that is sad. But overall, I think the company, I mean, it's trending up right now. Pretty short term trend stuff going on. I'm in it from, I don't know. I couldn't. I don't remember when. I could look it up and chart it for us here, but I'm not going to do that right now. Basically, I have drawn some of these ideas, and woohoo, it's playing out. So that's kind of cool. Theoretically, the idea is that like I should take profit at this target, because when things reach targets, they tend to get a little overextended and then kind of reverse. However, they reverse, but I don't know. I'm in Peloton for the long term. Maybe I'll sell a little bit as it's kind of getting here. Maybe I'll take a little profit, but I think I'm gonna hodl, or however you say that meme term. Of course, it's kind of funny. Like I added a little more to my position right here, and then of course, boom, pull back in the 430s, and you're like, nice. I was like barely break even here. I do remember that because I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to sell this. I mean, I wouldn't sell it until like down here or whatever. But I was like, well, okay, I guess it's going against me, and we're just gonna get to here. But fortunately, market reverses it up to here. So let's go. We got a bit of a trend. We'll see how much it continues. Actually, I could do some work here now on this quickly because there's a weekly signal right here. So let's see if that provides us any little more information. Oh boy. I think this is not like, you're not like technically supposed to do this on the 2-day moving on the 2-day stock chart, but I have had some success with doing this on the 2-day stock chart with none other than Rivian. So I'm gonna do it on the 2-day stock chart, and that's that. I'm gonna actually do this. I'm gonna actually measure the potential move in 2 ways. I'll measure it from here, from this actual really low, and then let me just do that now so I don't have to go back. And then I'll measure it from what might be more realistic. Let's just say whatever, I'll just do that. So going from that ultra low price point, we connect it 454. Just call it 452 good for now. And then basically you're trying to count the amount of bars here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, 14, 15. All the bars that are actually touching that period, just because, yeah, in the method that I was taught and kindly taught by one of my mentors, you don't count the bars that touch whatever. Anyway, it's a lot to explain, especially at 3 a.m. in the morning. Plus, that's all boring stuff, isn't it? That's okay. Yeah, so that puts us up to 748. Honestly, that's not impossible. I could see that happening with a stock like Peloton that's so volatile, and you potentially have a lot of shorts in the stock. Um, if you know what happened with GameStop, a bunch of shorts were in the stock, and it actually made it explode higher because it's all stock market is supply and demand, and if shorts are taking up the demand by shorting the stock, then there's going to be less supply. And if all of a sudden there's a lot of demand for it, then the stock will go higher. So, in an explosive supply and demand matrix that Peloton could be in, I could see it going to 750 ish, for sure. I could definitely see that. Um, and actually, it's kind of nice that it's a short term analysis because I'll plan on having you guys updated on how it's going, and how it's playing out. I'm sure. I know I'm going to be interested in seeing how it plays out. I, whether you are or not, that's okay. Um, I'll update you anyway. So now then, this is like the what I thought might be a more realistic range measurement down at 576. Um, but yeah, I mean, I definitely think 750 is not unquestionable or whatever. Anyway, so I know, yeah, that's interesting to see. Okay, so we got something that we can look at we can be updated on, and we'll see how it plays out. Um, at Home Depot, Peloton, I was looking at Norwegian Cruise Lines a little bit. This one's a difficult one. That's actually interesting to see. You see on the 2 day, it did hit its 3 standard deviation from the 150-day moving average, which is a long-term moving average, basically. Well, fairly long-term, 150 days. It's a long time. It's about half a year, right? So, yeah, pretty much. So that's a long time. You could say that's long-term average. Half a year is a long time to take an average. Okay, I'm just babbling at this point, but anyway, I think cruises over the. I think they've still got a lot of room to go. I think cruises are something people are going to be doing over the long term. I think Norwegian Cruise Line should stand to benefit. I mean, as far as I know, it's a fairly well regarded cruise line. Um, so yeah, I'm like, okay, I know Norwegian Cruise Line. Let's take a look at this. I've done a lot of work on this one. I won't go into it all because we're at 13 minutes, and I definitely know it's. I definitely know this video is getting long in the tooth for y'all. Um, but anyway, this is like some of the stuff I'm looking at here at Norwegian, looking for a long-term move higher. Again, time will tell. We'll see how it goes. You've got it at an interesting spot here. A little extended, I mean, you could say, especially from when this move started up, from down here. But we'll see how things ensue. I might go into more detail on this one later, and then we'll be able to get an update there. But anyway, yeah, this is like just some of the general work. This is like a general work session that I do when I'm looking at charts and just kind of curious about a specific stock, and then I get curious about other things, just like a snowball, just rolling down the hill. You just go from one to the other. You're like, oh, what's that doing? Oh, blah blah. Real quickly, I will mention Build-A-Bear Workshop. I'm sure you remember this. You gotta remember Build-A-Bear Workshop. What a company. I mean, it's crazy. It's been a crazy one, but I'll just throw out a little bit of the thesis behind this one. So boomers are like the richest generation in history or something. And now millennials, guess what they're starting to do? They're starting to have kids. Where's all that money gotta go? It's gotta go to the grandbabies. And what better to buy them than a Build-A-Bear workshop bear or rabbit or dog. I have a Build-A-Bear dog up in my room, I think. Um, I I think it. I mean, it's trending higher over the short term at the moment. I mean, and over the long term, it's got a really decent trend higher. I think this is one that I mean, I'm biased to the long side. I think I think it looks decent, and again, time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Anything can happen in the markets. You always got to be prepared for anything. You always got to just watch, invest what you can afford to lose because the market is mean, um, for sure. So, all right, I'll conclude this one for the day. A little longer than my past ones, but this was kind of a general chart work session review type thing, and sticking to my if I'm doing work on a chart, I'm going to record it and share it with you guys. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Share, building the channel. So thanks again. See you guys.